Yo, what's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. There's been some crazy news going on in the internet lately. I'm not going to talk too much into it, but we're going to be going into some Destiny and Marathon news. So look at this. We got something from Forbes. How can Bungie sustain both Destiny 2 and Marathon going forward? Well, let's find out and click on the article by Paul Tassi. This guy's a regular Destiny 2 player. The closer we get to the final shape, the more opinions about the future of Bungie are starting to shift. I originally said that I was sure that Destiny 2 would continue making major expansions, not just episodic season replacements that have already been announced, but I'm now becoming less and less sure. Dang. Why? Because new findings seem to suggest things may be about to get worse before if it does get better. An IGN report talked about how there is tremendous weight on the final shape to perform. I would argue too much, given low pre-orders and player disillusionment over the past year. And if that is not the case, the threat of the further layoffs looms. Over 100 people were cut from the Bungie in the last fall from last year. While we don't know how deep the cuts may go a second time, I'm sorry to say that I have to imagine there may not be any avoiding the further ones after the final shape, at least from the perspective of the mid-derided Bungie leadership who decided to fire people the first time. But my question is, with all these layoffs, how can Bungie possibly hope to sustain the Destiny 2 going forward, or even Destiny as an overall franchise alongside with Marathon, a big shooter that is gambling a huge amount of the company's fortune on its success? That's to say nothing of the other projects that are still in incubation, like Gummy Bears and stuff. The sustain seems that at least somewhat similar to the company like Riot Games, which will still manage longtime hit of League of Legends, but also shooter Valorant, plus smaller projects like Team Fight Tactics if they can do it. Can't Bungie? Riot has its own share of the culture problems, so it's certainly not exempt from those Bungie-like struggles. Plus, recent layoffs that include 11% of the company, 500 jobs, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about Riot now. While a bit apples and oranges, I would argue that managing a game like Destiny 2 is more work in some sense than League of Legends doing balanced passes and pumping out individual new champions. Bungie has been cranking out huge expansions, increasingly large seasonal content over the last few years, alongside trying free things like eternally balancing PvP and now stopgap into the light. It's a massive amount of work at high cost. The answer, unfortunately, may be the leadership simply doesn't care how Bungie manages after the next year or two. The IGN said the leadership will likely leave in droves after the final payouts from the Sony deal that comes in 2026. Somebody's getting paid out and they're dipping. The main question for both of these projects is scope. If the report of Marathon is a hero-based extraction shooter, how many of those arrive at launch? Valorant had 12, Overwatch had 21. Then you get a situation where, because this is a new hero game, you have to constantly add new characters, perhaps a new season. No doubt Marathon will have seasons. That wouldn't have been the case with custom characters. Definitely feels like almost has to shrink. Episodes may be larger than seasons, but I would be surprised if 3 episodes had as much content as 4 seasons. And the question is, the expansions remain, blah, blah, blah. At the main point, I really don't think there should be more layoffs no matter what happens in the final shape. It would only damage the company's future prospects and even further with fewer people, blah, blah, blah. But who knows, Bungie leadership is looking like these days. So I believe, this is my opinion, guys. I think that, yes, Bungie's still going to release Marathon. And I think that they're still going to continue Destiny 2. People are saying, oh, they're just going to dip after that. There's too much money in this franchise. People are saying Final Shape is not selling too good. Well, they haven't really advertised it fully yet. So you got to wait for those advertisements to hit all the billboards and stuff. So people are kind of counting their chickens before they hatch. In my opinion, I think Final Shape's going to be the best-selling expansion, maybe ever. People are going to hear, oh, Bungie's bringing it back. Bungie's bringing back this, Bungie's bringing that. And then the Into the Light event's also going to get a lot of people back in to get people ready for the final shape. So, it's a gamble, guys. If the final shape succeeds, we could see more Destiny content. Of course, we're going to get those 3 episodes. But if it fails, I'm pretty sure they're going to just dip on that. Maybe make Marathon, and then after that, they just hand the company over. But in my opinion, I don't think Bungie's going to go out like that unless that's the only option. So they're going to keep doing what they do. They're going to keep making games for us. And yeah, let's make some good Destiny 2 content, especially for the final shape, because it's a 10-year plan. So I wanted to be here for all 10 years, and let's do it, guys. I want to beat that raid, the Witness. I'm coming for you. So yeah, that's my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. Peace. In my opinion, I think Destiny 2 is still going to continue even after the episodes. Maybe they could be making Destiny 3. You never know. But, you just never know. Alright, guys. Have a good one. Peace.